Welcome to Frode Barт in his studio.
Thank you. Dear Bulgarian friends, the plan was to make a workshop with you, with your singers in Bulgaria, but that was not possible when so many got sick and the pandemic was strong in the end of our tour. So now I'm asked to make a workshop on the video, but I'm here without any singers. But still I'm full of many musical tools. So I will do my best to give you something to think about. And I don't even know who are you that will look this video. So it's a little bit static and not the way I used to work, but I will give you some information that I hopefully think that you can use to something. I would like to start to say that I was a singer and I was a soloist in the choir when I was a child. So I have a very natural care and interest for the voice. I love to sing, but for me, later in my education, it was more and more important to make my guitar sing. But everything comes from the voice. Everything I do as a composer, a music producer, or a guitar player comes from the voice. It comes from the phrasing, it comes from the rhythm, and the underline in the expression of the beautiful voice that is probably the most interesting instrument of them all. I like to work with improvisation. This is an art that was very popular in classical music as well. I'm sure you know about Mozart, the great genius composer. He was improvising. When he got just a little melody line, he could make a full composition from this little melody line. The same with Beethoven. He was a great improviser, and of course, the master, the godfather, Johann Sebastian Bach. They was all improvisers. And today we see improvisation mostly in the jazz and pop and rock and blues, and not so much in classical music. It should be included. So when we was on tour in Bulgaria, we had one composition where I was improvising together with the choir, and I wish we could do more based on this, that we could have an instrumentalist or a singer that could improvise on top of the composition. I like to give you some information about what kind of tools you could use when you improvise. Without any tools, and you are musical, maybe you don't need so much. For example, if you have some harmonies, it's very nice to have some harmonies as a platform. You don't need, but if I ask you to sing something based on the spare of the moment, I'm sure you could if you feel comfortable in the situation. For example, if someone say, Frode, sing something, I don't know what to sing, but I could just take and jump into it, and maybe and what should come next? And I feel it could be like a repetition. That could be a song, you know. Where it come from, I don't know. But I jumped into it and I made something in the moment. And I think that when you work with singers in a choir, or you just work with music in maybe only one person, maybe you sit with your instrument or you're a singer, I think that you should not be so afraid to jump into the spirit of the moment and try to sing something. And I say it to all of you, even if you are not musicians, and even if you are very shy and you are afraid to sing in front of other people, try to do it on my request. Try to sing something. I cannot be with you and check if you are doing it, but I would really, really ask you to do something like this. And maybe the woman in front of the camera or backside of the camera now would take the chance and sing a little melody line. Would you have the courage?
La 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 la.
Beautiful! You see, she is a photographer now, but she had music inside. And where it come from, we don't know exactly. And maybe it's not so important, but the joy and to be open and try to use music as a tool to make a more interesting day. This is important, eh? So, I want you to try to sing something, just jump. It's not so afraid. Don't be afraid. It's not so dangerous. And if it's not beautiful, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you will feel more happy. Now, I will put some harmonies and try to jump into it. I have a little robot that is playing what I just played as a repetition. And now I will jump into something on top of this with my voice. And where? What happened there? It was a musical situation and I enjoyed it. I could make my own melody on top of some chords, harmonies. And I don't know if you are familiar with harmonies, but harmonies should be minimum 3 notes together. 1, 2, 3. And the first note is the root note. The third note is the third. That can be a major or a minor. It depends on what kind of third you have in the harmony. And the fifth. 1, 3, 5. And this is based of the scale. Now I was in G major. And this is the typical major scale, and I don't know if you know about this, but this is a major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 8 is the same note as the first one. It's 1 octave between them. And when we improvise, we can use many tools. And scales are very useful. I don't say that you need to know it, but it's a very, very good information to have, so you can use the knowledge. There's many very musical people that don't know about it, and I'm sure that when the first humans in this planet was created, they had a primal scream, and they started to sing after this primal scream. And they didn't have any theory in the beginning, but later on in the music history, we have a lot of music theory, and a lot of this theory are based on mathematics. And I'm sure that you all heard about Pythagoras, that most mathematician teachers know about, but he was also very interested in music. This is interesting. So ask your mathematician teacher about Pythagoras and ask him if he knew that he was a philosopher and very, very interested in music and the spheres of the whole universe. Okay, back to the harmonies. I would like to play the C major scale for you. That is the most basic scale because it's so simple to play on the piano. It's only the white keys on the piano, and it sounds like this. And the note names is C, D, E, F, G, A, B in English, but in Norwegian we say H, and back to C again. We are not sure why this B or H have different names. No one could explain me that, but it's interesting, so we have to translate. If I'm in America, this note is B. If I'm in Norway, this note is H. So I will now make a harmony on all this note in this C major scale. And when I make harmonies of this scale, it will be like this. Okay, so this was 8 harmonies, but only 7 different, because the 8 and the first one was the same. If I play a C major harmony, and I use my robot again, I can improvise on the C major scale, for example. And if you would like to make some harmonies on the piano or accordion or a guitar or in the choir, you could have a soloist in front. And this was my wish to share with you in Bulgaria. I wanted to make harmonies with the choir and ask some of the singers to be like a soloist in the art of improvisation. So this scale was called long time ago for union scale, but it's the same as a major scale. Then, if I go to the next harmony, it's a D minor. The second note in the major scale, and I put a harmony on this one, and I will record this harmony. This is a D minor harmony, and on this harmony I can use another scale. I can use a Dorian scale, and this sounds like this. And it fits very good to this harmony, yes? You know, yes? And you can make beautiful melodies or have fun with playing and make a game on this one. And I will move on to the next harmony. It will be 1, 2, 3, the third note. I will make a new harmony, and I use my robot. And now I can make a new scale of this harmony, and this is called Phrygian. fantastic melody lines on this scale, based on the E minor harmony. And I will go on, because now I have 1, 2, 3, now I come to number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is an F major.
A new harmony.
And what can I do with this? I can play a new scale. I can play a F Lydian scale, and it goes like this. And now we have a new harmony. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a G7 chord. I will use my robot. And how is the scale? It's a new one. It is a mixolydian. It sounds like this. Da 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 di da 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 di da di da di da. Very interesting scale. I would like to improvise immediately, but and now I will give you another one. Now we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth note in the major scale is a minor chord, and it's an A minor. I use my robot. And what is the scale? It's Aeolian. And it can also have another name like a natural minor scale. It sounds like this. And I would like to make an improvisation. And now it's only one more. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this harmony is a minor 7 flat 5. And it's a B or H, depends on what country you are in. It's a B in Norway, is a H minor 7 flat 5 chord. I don't know what you say in Bulgaria, but if you are into jazz music, you used to say B minor 7 flat 5. But if you are a classic musician in Europe, you usually say H. Okay, so it sounds like this. And I will play the scale, and the scale is called Locrian. And it sounds like this. It's very sophisticated. And you can make beautiful melody lines on this one. If I go one more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I come to 8, and 8 is the same as 1, and then I'm back again to the C major. And what is interesting is that all these scales is the same scale, and this is almost it's very hard to understand, yes, because it's just like a photo. If you have the photo of the major scale, and you would like to have a little different part of the photo, So you take away what is down in the photo and you add maybe a little bit extra on top. Then you have a new scale. And just the same photo. It's just the same photo. Look, this is the C major scale. But I don't start, this is a C major scale and it's called union. But if I don't play the first one, I just jump on the second one. But all the other notes is the same. It will be like this. But it's the same scale, but I started on one stair up. Then it's a Dorian. And if I go to one more step, I start on the third one, but I play the same scale. It's Phrygian. If I go one more step up, it's the same scale. It is Lydian. What did I say? Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and back to Ionian or major. Did you understand this? That you have 7 scales in one scale. It's just about how you cut the picture or what kind of step you start on. But it's the same stairs. It's just the same stairs. And that means that I can play harmonies. For example, C major and E minor and D minor and G major. This is harmonies based on the C major scale, and I can play all the scales when I improvise. I can play C major, but I can play also Dorian. Or I can play Aeolian. So, I wanted so much to give you all the harmonies in C major tonality, and I wanted to give you the 7 scale: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Locrian. Hello, one more time, sorry. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. It's a very strange name, so sometimes I really have to concentrate. But these 7 scales are magic. You can make so much fun with them, and they're beautiful. So I hope that you can take this video and play with it, and take it with you the rest of your life, because this is what the jazz musicians Mozart, Beethoven, and Johann Sebastian Bach was using as very useful tools when they made their improvisation. And now you can use this information. And I think this was probably enough. This is what I wanted to give you. And I wish I could have a big choir and we could have fun together for maybe a couple of hours. But without a choir, I could sit here and talk and it can be too much blah 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 for you. So now I hope that it's useful for you, and feel free and don't be afraid to use this information. And goodbye!
Thank you. And now I'll just, this is the robot.
Har du satt sammen to bokser hjemme?
Om jeg har gjort det?
Ja.
Nei, men det er jeg nødt til å...
Lære.
Ja.